Welcome back to the third and final hour of this week's The Long Voyage. This is episode 20. And it is, as I said, it's hour 3. And you were about to say something, Sindri, just before we left for a break a moment ago.
Was I? I suspect it was actually Chris about to say that we needed to take a break. But
okay.
There we go.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, you've heard some rumors about what is going on in Kepa at the moment, and
Excellent.
Yeah. The you do hear, stories of you do hear another rumor, by the way.
Yeah.
While you're there, you do hear that the man that was mentioned very briefly, Tangbo, is who you can infer from what is being said, is probably he's probably the commander of the local garrison, from the way it sounds. He's also clearly a man people love, because as soon as his name is mentioned, everybody raises their glass and shouts his name loudly because yay him. And apparently he has some problems with his son.
Do they say what kind of problem?
Yeah, apparently the kid doesn't want to be a soldier.
Is Gylfie here with us?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did he go to get a drink? I think we'll give him a brief glance.
Same with Brody. The kid doesn't want to be a soldier. Everyone looks to Gylfie.
Goofy just looks at them and shrugs.
Then Ilva says, well, that's not actually a problem, is it?
No, I mean, again, people around you are like, no, not as such, but it's creating some friction between father and son, because with a man like Tangbo, whose family has been military for as long as anybody can remember, and then the only son in the family suddenly wants to be an artist. Oh my goodness, he paints.
Paints?
Yes, and apparently he's very good at it, but it's clearly not what Daddy Dearest had expected from his son.
What does he paint?
All sorts of things. People explain that he paints landscapes and birds and people, for that matter. And that he's
I
really
think
good.
Ilva is so far removed from arts history that she is literally seeing him running around in the landscape painting little leaves. She looks a little perplexed because he also paints people and ponders if people will really, let him do that.
Stand still for long enough, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
So, yes, the
Well, as long as he's good enough to make a living out of it, I suppose it's not that bad.
not really, no, but everybody is no, everybody here is okay with it. It's just it's a rumor of a family disagreement, so to say.
Yes, well, that can certainly be.
Yes, and there you have the man himself, Tangbo, and here you have the son.
He is very androgynous looking, is Mr. Tang Chao.
Yes, he is. So, yes, there you go. And
I mean, he must clearly get it from his mother, because the dad looks.
yes, Dad looks like a gorilla.
Yes, basically is what I was.
I were chuckling because we have Ren, Gylfie, and now this guy that can make a boy band.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
We need.
Well, I think he inherited his father's eyebrows.
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe he just drew them on to make them look more manly.
Oh, God, no.
That's a good point, though. That's a good point.
He is an artist.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
sure.
So, that is the so that is Yes, that is a thing. Also, there's another person that you've been told about, and his name comes up in this place as well. Just briefly, something about his latest romantic conquest. This one,
Himura.
Mr. Izanagi.
Izanagi. Yes. Well, Izanagi is his first name, obviously.
Yes, Mr. Timura then. Oh, goodness me. Izanagi takes me back to my Unreal days.
Well, yes, he is.
Anyway.
He's mentioned as well, as I said, and something about his love life, and people just shrug, like, whatever.
That's his own thing.
Yeah,
to deal with.
Yeah, exactly. People here seem to basically think that okay, gay people happen, so what?
Yes, of course.
Ilva smiles faintly. People should just be like that everywhere. Not fucking care.
Oh, sorry. What did you say, Rasmus?
Fury asks, "You like what?"
Not care who people loves. You remember the man you found on that hill?
Ah, yes.
I mean, come on.
Abomination.
Yeah. Who really cares? I mean, come on.
Well,
These people have the right of it.
well, some of them.
Review it back home.
Yeah. I mean, clearly there's. Sindri says they are more open, but do you get the impression from these people that there's still some worry, some fear about it for some reason?
Makes sense. Someone like that wouldn't be able to continue the family line.
Not just that, but they in the rumor mill, in the inn, they talk of it as if some eye is watching them somewhere that would strike them down for daring suggest it.
Actually, no.
No?
No, they are.
They didn't care at all.
They explicitly it was just okay. Fine. Would you prefer that? Fine. No problem.
In the place. Okay, that's fine. Ignore what I'm saying. I thought we were still talking about the inn with the yellow windows we went to.
No. There's the same thing here. They have the whole. Oh,
yeah,
so
who cares?
Yeah, exactly. He's found a new lover, and everybody just like yeah, and.
My apologies. I was basing it on what you wrote in the blurb of the man's.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. It's the reason why there could be some kind of is basically, as you said, the same thing that how is he going to continue the family line and they
All right, fine.
I see what you mean about the whole being struck down. People talk about it, but they don't care. There is the feeling that someone else might care.
Okay.
So it's not a personal thing of no, I don't like that, or such people are this, that, or the other.
That's
okay. Sorry.
That's what I meant. I got the
Okay.
impression.
Sorry. Then I got you all asked backwards. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, basically, I was saying that the reason that they seem to be they didn't care themselves, but they.
Yes, exactly. But there might be someone or something else that could care.
Exactly.
Like the father who wants the child to actually make an heir.
For example, or as it says on the blurb there that there is a sort of a fear. You don't get that impression in here because it's not mentioned.
All right, fine. Later then.
Yes, that would be sort of a thing that you pick up pretty quickly, but it's not mentioned in here in any way.
No. At some point or another, our characters are going to find out about this Red Emperor.
Oh yes.
Well, I think eventually Frodi will get back to Eileen and say, so about the stuff I wanted to buy.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I will take us to such a place from here if you want, right away, or.
Yeah, there's no reason to wait.
No, not at all. And she gets up and says, well, again, she says, it has been a couple of years since I visited Kepa, so for all I know, the place might not exist anymore, might be closed. But I do know of a place that was there when I was here last.
That's a good enough start.
And
Good.
she takes you, it's only a couple of streets away, to a small shop. It's a one-story building. And the smells from in there are exotic and very mixed, and certainly interesting. In some cases, very nice. Not all of them. So you enter the place.
Yes.
There
Looks
is.
like it's still here.
It is. She says this would be the place. And when you enter, you can see it's both fascinating and super ghastly at the same time. They have all manner of weird things here, like dried up animal parts, and there's a skull over there with what looks like crystals in its eye sockets, and there are huge numbers of what are they called? Jars, large jars with little notes on them about what is in there, and at least one of them says, well, one of them specifically says, powdered corpse of hanged man.
I assume Eileen reads it out because I can't
She
read.
does.
That's.
She does.
I wonder what that's good for.
No, it's. I would guess that it's used by Mahotsukai for some ritual or other. She said, I don't know anything about that sort of thing. She does look kind of icked out by it. Also the and yes, you actually did, Sindri. It's true. You did hear the Red Emperor mentioned last session, but that's fine. It's no problem. You see a mummified hand. It's completely shriveled up, hanging on a string from the ceiling. It's clearly a talisman of some kind or other.
That's interesting.
The point
What do you
is,
think that's
it's
for?
quite a small hand, so it's clearly taken from a child.
Well, Sprody still asks her what she thinks it's for, and not that she demands that she knows, but if she has any ideas.
I have no idea, she says. But I can tell you that the place is under new management.
It's not the same people you knew.
No, she says, and looks to the person at the table on the far end of the room. I don't know who that is, but I mean, they're still selling the things you need.
Well, that's good. Why don't you go talk to them?
Yes, it's a man sitting there. A very, very, very old man.
Hello.
Yes.
I want to buy, he thinks about the word incense for make vision.
Yes, good. That I have in many forms. What kind of vision do you want, strange one?
You have control over visions?
Some. Incense is like a road map. If you use the correct one, it is easier to find your way.
What kinds do you have? I mean, it makes sense that the man is so raspy to Frody. After all, he already experienced some lung
Yes,
shit.
exactly. And he says, yes, I have. I can mix some that is to your specifications. So I simply need to know what you need.
Well, prophetic visions, of course.
Yes.
Not for fun.
Very excellent choice. Prophecy is such a difficult art, but perhaps easier for your kind, strange one. For Mahotskai, prophecy is difficult.
I think it's normally not that easy if it's big prophecy, but it runs in my family line.
I see. Very interesting. I shall mix you what you require.
Excellent. Now,
Do you need anything else?
well, you have so many interesting things.
I do, don't I? And all of it has purpose.
Ah, well, what is the purpose of that one? He says and points to the hand.
It is protection against spirits of departed family.
Ah.
It
Do you...
is less popular nowadays than when I was young and the Red Emperor still ruled. Then it was something everybody had.
I think at the mention of the Red Emperor, he looks to Eileen because, who?
She looks like she needs to ward herself just from the mention of this person.
I see. Who's the Red Emperor? Or was?
He was a great and terrible man, long dead now, for the good of the Empire, of course.
I see. Do you have something that could help me if I encounter things like an Enenra or Oni?
Oh yes, I do indeed, but that kind of protection is expensive, strange one.
Do you have anything that can help me kill it? The last Enenra was super difficult to kill.
That would require magic in a weapon. I can arrange it, but the cost is exorbitant.
How exactly would you arrange that?
Do not ask questions if you do not want the answer, strange one.
Oh, what would the person be with?
Always people willing to die. Again, Eileen looks like she really wants to leave this place like 5 minutes ago.
I will give it some thought.
Indeed. Come by this evening and I shall have your incense ready, strange one.
What's the purpose of powdered corpse of a hanged man?
It is good for erection.
Ah.
You make a paste from it and smear it on your member.
I see. And that works?
It isn't infallible.
Was that a pun? And also, I don't want. Oh God, can you imagine? What do you want done with your ashes, Grandad? You know, I want to be used as Viagra. I mean, come on.
Last question then. Are there any large bones around the store?
Yes, several shin bones and thigh bones and the skull.
Well, in that case, Thordy is going to figure out what those are for.
Well, okay. So you ask about each of the bones or something?
I mean, if there's like a box of bones, they could probably.
No,
have the
they're
same
individually laid out.
yes.
He points to the first one, which is a femur, so a thigh bone, and he says, "Well, that one is used. You put that under your child's bed, and that child will be well behaved."
I see.
That one, he says, and points to another femur. You can see there is some writing on it as well, by the way. You put that on the chest of a dying person, and they will pass more easily.
That's
Takes pain away. It is a popular item, as you can imagine.
How about that one?
And which one do you point to? A shin bone or something?
Yeah, or the skull. Eventually, the skull at least.
You take that one, he says, and points to the shin bone, and you powder it. And you pour it in a liquid, and then you drink it. And you will run like the wind for a day.
Oh. Was it the bone of someone who was good at running?
Indeed, strange one. You understand, Mao. There is power in such things.
Do you have then a bone of a Mahotsukai?
Yes, I do. That one, he says, and points to the skull. There is still a little power within it.
Well, what does it do?
It will aid another Mahotsukai, but not more than once per day. It will draw strength from the dead rather than the living.
So if I kill a foe, the skull will become stronger.
No, but you do not have to draw on your own essence to cast your incantation.
Oh, well, that's certainly interesting.
I should know, he says, and smiles. A really nasty smile. It belonged to my wife.
Yeah.
I see. I think he's definitely staying polite, but Thordy's looked like for a while that this is some icky shit.
Yes, it really is.
I mean, initially he wasn't that squeamish because, I mean, if you powder a dead corpse or if you roll around
I
its
hope it's a
entrails,
dead corpse. It would be bad if it was a living one.
I mean, if I'm sure powdered Draugr has some sort of effect.
I guess, yeah, true.
But I mean, the difference between a powdered corpse or rolling around in a corpse entrails, not that big, but it's getting more and more bizarre.
Yes, it really is.
Do you have any?
my wife. She's never far away.
I think Thordy quickly changes the topic.
No,
How about?
he does actually look at you after he says that, he looks at you, and his wicked smile gets slightly cruel. And he says, I will let you have it cheaply if you will take it away from here.
Oh, I am certainly going far away.
I would be able, he says, and reaches inside his tunic and draws out one of these children's hands things. Hang this on the wall in that case. I would not have to ward off the spirit of my wife any longer.
I see. I'll consider it for when I come back.
Very well, strange one.
Just Dusty. I like to. Do you have anything for fire magic?
Oh, most assuredly. He holds up a hand, turns it over, and up springs a small flame. You see, I have that ability as well.
Ah,
So yes, I most assuredly do. Many kinds of incense, for example. Or, of course, the mixed ashes of a burnt family.
what does that do?
Oh, you simply need to eat a little, and it will enhance your spells and incantations.
I see. For now, just the incense, but I will give thought to your many interesting wares.
Naturally, strange one. I may not be good with prophecy, but I do foresee that we will meet again.
Yes, I do have some interesting. And then he gently guides Eileen out.
I think the poor woman is shell-shocked right now.
Right. So you leave?
Yes.
Thank goodness. My voice thanks you.
Yeah, I can imagine that was quite hard.
Aww. You should have continued. I wanted to see what happened with the voice later.
So, yes, you leave the exceptionally creepy old man.
With a voice worse than Gangria's, which
Mhm.
is surprising.
Yes. And a throat worse than hers.
And that is true.
So, yes.
So, does she have any comments when we get out? Because otherwise, Thrudy will say, "You certainly have a lot of magic involving the dead."
So, yes, Eileen stands outside as well, and she's she's moving rapidly from one foot to the other and brushing herself down really rapidly. It's like, I need a bath right now.
She's basically doing the ew 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 dance.
Yes.
I feel dirty.
I'm
I feel
sorry
like
to
my essence
have.
is tarnished.
I'm sorry to have brought you here, but
No, it's fine, You didn't know any more than I did.
certainly do have a lot of magic involving parts of the dead.
I mean, yeah, again, I don't know much about magic or Mahol. I really don't. I mean, I imagine that there are many kinds of Mahol that does not include the dead.
Well, mine mostly doesn't. I mean, I can read the entrails of something that has died for prophecy, but that can be a fish as well as a person. I rarely encounter people ready for. He stops talking.
Yes, yes, yes. This is that place was wrong. Let's go somewhere else, please.
Yes, wherever you want to go.
I actually think I'd like to go back to the Scarlet Cloud. I think I'd like to have a bath.
Yes.
I really feel icky after that
Oh.
place.
I think I'll take some time to think about things.
Yes, that's a good idea.
Poor Eileen.
She's just completely icked out by that.
Oh well. Eileen
Yeah.
is now creeped out for a couple of years.
Yes, one day I want to see that old geezer on television.
What old geezer?
The one that you just heard. I want to see someone portray him on TV just to see how creepy it could be.
Oh,
no one-
that could be so cool.
Yeah, no one's going to match your talent for doing the voice, though. That was impressive.
Thank you.
They will be trying to do the same thing by re-watching and rehearing this segment over and over. And try to do the same thing and fail.
Incredibly nasty piece of work in any case. But yes,
We're talking
what-
about his cue.
what do the rest of you guys do in the meantime?
Silva is out spelunking.
Spelunking even. You're crawling in caves.
Yeah,
As in walking through the
Oh,
city,
okay,
looking
right.
at stuff.
Yes, you're window shopping and people watching and just having a nice time.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
People watching the people who's watching her.
Yes.
And be just as fascinated with them as they are of her.
yeah.
And it's a glorious day to see all of these fantastic sights, and yeah, you really have a very nice day of it. Probably also have some street food at some point or other, and you know, it's really nice overall. But you do pick up as you walk through the streets. There is clearly something going on with those two sisters that you heard about, because people are talking about it in the streets as well.
Are there any sign of where they are?
No, nobody knows where they are, and that is probably a good thing for them, because while you occasionally, very occasionally, hear someone whispering to each other, I mean, you have good hearing, so you know, somebody...
Your hearing is great, yeah.
Yeah, so you can tell, you know, people whispering in something sympathetic about them, between them, but you hear maybe 3 of them out of every 10 talking about them. Maybe only a little less than 3, maybe, you know, 25% of the people you hear talking about this sound like they are sympathetic to the sisters. The rest of them all want to curse them, you know, into oblivion, because, oh no, you know, you can't stand against his lordship because he is so good for us and we are so wealthy and so rich because of him, yada 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 yada.
Oh, God forbid that you should be denied your creature comforts in life, you entitled pricks.
Well, when she hears a group of them, you know, be sympathetic, she
Yes.
will ask about them.
Well,
What the story is, because that's something new.
okay, well, first and foremost, when you approach them, they all look like deer in the headlights, because Jesus Christ, if you'll pardon the pun, what is that? And you know,
She's only 6'1".
yeah, but
Come on.
you're blonde, and you're
And
6'1"
blue-eyed.
and blue-eyed, and what the fuck is that? And so
Her hair glitters like gold in the sun. Yeah, I know, it's strange. Come on, get over it.
It is, but one of them of these people actually stands his ground, while the rest of them sort of back away from you because, oh my goodness, scary creature. Oh, I think it's a woman. Scary woman.
She is smiling.
And that's not necessarily a good thing. Let's face it. But you know, one of them, a young man, stands his ground. And looks at you, and as you approach, and says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
Hello. I'm sorry if my Imperial isn't as good. There has been talk about a couple of sisters. I was wondering what
Yes.
was wrong.
He looks first. He says, "Well, I'm impressed by your Imperial. It is not an easy language. And then he when you ask about the sisters, you can tell that he becomes nervous. That he looks around to see, you know, are there soldiers standing there ready to grab him when he says something nice about them, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, he doesn't seem particularly keen on talking about them all of a sudden.
Oh, Ilva looks around and gets a more, you know, understanding face. Oh, it's a sensitive subject? She asks in a lower tone of voice.
Yes, it is. The sisters are very well. She was not treated right. The young woman was not treated right. She should have been. Yes, she's a commoner, but so what? If young Jeong is willing to marry her, then what does it matter that she's a commoner?
That shouldn't matter at all.
Oh, he's not. Oh, thank goodness! You know, when he realizes that you're, you know, of the same opinion, he looks like a weight has been taken off his shoulders.
She smiles calmly.
It is simply, they were. She is so beautiful. I mean, I've seen her. She is the loveliest woman, probably in all of Geba. And yeah, they would have made such a beautiful couple. And then it was called off.
Is there other reason that it was called off than her blood?
Nobody knows. The Lord Sung has not mentioned it. He has not spoken to that effect, and Jung is not. Jung is not. Well, we don't see him much in public. He's a very shy man, and when he is in public, he doesn't want to speak of it. He leaves if it's brought up. I think it's still hurting. So nobody knows what. If I mean, I might be wrong. It might not have had anything to do with her family.
Is there nothing people can do to help them?
Well, I suppose if somebody could, you know, help them run away, but that would require Jung would then give up his lands, title, and everything, and then there would be no one to take over when Lord Sung dies one day. And I think he takes his duties too seriously to do something like that.
And then Ilva thinks about all the things that's been said about Lord Sung and thinks, yeah, that would be bad. Oh.
But if you
then
if
what
if you
would
are,
happen?
Oh, sorry, please.
Well, if they can wait, maybe when he is the new lord and takes over.
That is what some of us are hoping, but
That, of course, would mean
Lord Sung is not that old a man. I mean, he's I think about 50, and he could.
She lifts a brow. That's not old.
No, not at all. I mean, he's past his youth, obviously, but people here. Is it not like this where you are from? People here grow to be well above 70 most of the time.
I take it that Southlanders usually don't live that long unless they're really lucky.
I mean, there are 100 ways to die, you know, in daily life in the Southlands, so It's not that Southlanders can't grow that old. They certainly can, but most of them don't last that long because they get eaten by something or killed in a raid or whatever. There are many
Or work
reasons.
themselves to the bone because
Work
they
themselves
have
to death
and,
or something. Yeah, there could be many reasons, but it's not that Southlanders can't get that old. They just
Well-
tend to die earlier for unnatural reasons.
Well, if you look at me,
Yes.
I've heard I look older than I am.
I would not be able to tell. He says you are very, very strange to my eyes. And I'm sorry. I hope that I do not mean to offend. But
She shakes her head. No, not at all.
I've never seen hair like yours.
Apparently many haven't. It's very common where I'm from.
Is it gold?
No, it's just hair.
It looks like gold.
If anything, I think it's the lack of color. We have very little sun.
I see. But, and I was about to say, if you want to, I can take you to, well, I can't take you to meet the sisters, because I can't be sure that they're there, but I can take you to a place where they often come if you wish to see them or talk to them.
I would like that. If it's not the sister's fault, then maybe fixing a real problem would help.
Of course. Of course. I agree. That would be, yes, that would be true. Oh, and he says, oh, and I'm very sorry. I haven't introduced myself. I probably should. He says, and looks at you and says, my name is Chow.
I'm Ilva.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise.
Ilva. Yes, I feared you had a name I could not pronounce. Would you mind if, he says, and looks at you for a long time, I should love to paint someone like you. You are so different.
Huh? Paint me?
Yes, make a picture of you.
She looks like she doesn't really understand for a moment. What?
He looks completely flabbergasted. You don't have paintings where you're from. Oh, I must show you. Please. Come with me, I will show you.
Alright.
And he takes you, a couple of streets away and to it's probably not his home. It's more like a small kind of a couple of rooms.
It's an atelier.
Yeah, exactly. It's a studio where he paints, and he shows you his paintings. And I mean, obviously, imagine this classic Chinese style of painting. But he's very good. The details in he's made a picture of a bird with a very, very, very long tail. You can't see the colors, obviously, but the detail on the picture itself is remarkable.
Did he say his name was Chow?
Yes, he did.
Probably his family name is Tang then.
You can ask.
Well, I think when she realizes what painting people actually mean, she will go, Are you the Lord's son?
No, I'm not the Lord's son, but my oh, I guess you've heard. No, my father is Tangbo, the shushu of the garrison.
Oh, right. Tang Chow, right?
Indeed. You've heard of me? He looks a little confused at that.
People talk. Apparently people don't think I would be able to hear them.
Oh, I
And
see.
rumors goes in areas.
I see. I hope nothing bad. But would you be willing to let me make a picture of you? You are so different.
Of course.
He smiles and asks you to take a seat or kneel in a by the table, and he takes out his brushes, his brushes and his inks and so on, and unfolds a piece of paper, and he puts something. He rolls out a piece of paper. Obviously, it's in a roll, and then he puts something heavy on each corner on the table, and he begins to paint you.
Yeah,
And-
Ilva confesses after a while.
Yeah.
I must confess, when I heard that you were painting landscapes and people, I actually saw you run around in my mind painting the little leaves, and I was wondering what that was all about.
He laughs, and it's actually quite a. He's got this sparkling kind of laughter. He's like, well, if you haven't got paintings where you're from, I suppose I can understand why you would think something like that. But no, it is simply, making a picture of something, and then people can have them in their homes, even though they don't have a bird or a mountain in their home. They can still see a bird or a mountain in their home.
It's actually rather nice. In the Southlands where I'm from, we make little things out of bone.
Oh, so you carve bones.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen a few examples of that. It looks.
She takes out a little keepsake and shows it to him. It's a little box.
Would you be willing to trade the painting I make of you for that? That is.
Of course I would.
That is
My
a
father made this way back when I was a little kid.
Oh, are you sure if it's your father who made it? Are you sure you would do
Of
that?
course you can have it.
Thank you. I'm very, very grateful. That is a very fine object. It's such fascinating patterns on it. Very different from what we have. But he continues to paint you, and by the end of it, the painting he has made of you, it looks so simple when he does it, like it always does with these Chinese and Japanese painters when they make these broad brush strokes with a pencil or with a pen and a brush, and it just looks incredibly simple, and then by the end of it, it is just a remarkable piece of art. And he shows it to you and says, I'm actually rather pleased with this. This is actually pretty good. This is what you look like.
She stares at it for a while. Whoa.
He said, we need to let the ink dry for a little while, but can I offer you tea while we
Oh,
wait?
Yes, please.
Excellent. He says, and then he goes to get the things that he needs to make tea while the ink dries on the painting. And actually, I think that is an excellent place to stop with you having tea with the commander's son over a freshly made painting. So that's a good place to stop until next time. Right? Okay, this was hilarious. That was a lot of fun. So I'm going to give you your, I'm almost tempted to say usual 3 XP for tonight. The reactions to the creepy man in the magic shop was just way too much fun.
He was hilarious.
He was fun. He is certainly fun.
I'm looking forward to interacting with him again.
Yes, yes. All right, and for you, the listening audience, we thank you for being here, for listening to our story continuously. We hope you will continue to do so, and as I've started saying at the end of every one of these, like, share, subscribe, tell people about us, help us grow the channel, because we really want to, because we are greedy like that. We want followers. Mwah, 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 mwah. And so on that note from us, thank you, and see you next time, and bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.